love, and welcome to I Like Your Vibe Dating Talk Show. I'm your host, Bridget C. And today we're pleased to present to you live on YouTube, Patreon, and YPEnetwork.info. We're also working with other distribution companies to reach a broader audience. We will be discussing romance, dating, relationship, and sex topics. Our guests are everyday people, mostly from Birmingham, Alabama, who's ready to give their honest opinion on the topics that we'll be discussing. What most people consider red flags, Sharon didn't consider it a red flag, because a lot of women that we've interviewed and we've talked to, they've considered, even men, like if a woman lives with their mom or a family member, or if a man lives with his parents, a homeboy, or family member, they would consider that a red flag. And I was surprised because Sharon, she didn't consider that a red flag. Tell us why?
I mean, I know someone that lives with his mom, and I mean, he can move out at any time he wants, but he chooses to be with his mom, and she pays no bills. Like, her money is her money, you know. So I don't look at it like, I look at it as him being at home. He's not a mama's boy, you know what I'm saying? He does what he wants, you know. He just chooses to be home, and I think it's because he lost his dad. So he just wants to be at home. He's still a man. He still can do whatever he want to do. You know, he just at home. And if you're going to be at home, you make home comfortable for your mom. You know, where she don't have to pay bills or do anything. You are the man of the house, but she is the queen of her castle.
Oh, well, he sounds like a good man then. Okay, so do you have any advice for the viewers and the audience that's here?
Like I said before, just be true to yourself, because if you're not true to yourself, you can't be true to no one else. You know, just be able to sleep at night with no worries. It's a beautiful thing not just to go to sleep and don't have to worry about anything. You know, you can't fix how other people look at you as long as you know who you are.
We have a fun and exciting show planned for you all today. Are y'all ready?
To date people that aren't in therapy. I don't know if that's necessarily it for me, but I think someone who doesn't want to better themselves, and I think growth for me looks like having a mentor or going to a coaching session, eating a healthy diet. I think holistically caring for yourself.
So basically it's someone that has pinpointed their problems and want to change and working to do better for themselves.
Absolutely, because I do that for myself. So if you ain't doing that, then we ain't gonna mesh.
So have you experienced any red flags before? And would you like to give us a scenario? We nosy. Ain't y'all nosy? Yeah, we want to know. Give us the juice, girl.
You know, I think red flags are indicative of your standards. So for me, a red flag is someone who doesn't like to dream large enough. Because I want all the things in life. I want all the good things. And so a red flag for me is I ask this person, hey, so where do you see yourself going career-wise, salary-wise, going forward in your career? And he was like, I'm pretty happy where I'm at. And I'm like, that's not going to hit it for me. And so I think, although that is probably going to be perfect for someone else, it just wasn't in alignment.
How you doing today? I'm good. What's your name? Arlene? Okay. And you're a stylist here? Yeah. Okay. Discussing dating and relationship topics. Are you down?
Okay.
Okay. So, are you in a relationship or are you single?
I'm in a relationship.
Okay. How long you been in a relationship?
For 7 years.
For 7 years. Okay. That's a long time. So you have a lot of advice and a lot of experience to give these people.
I could say.
Okay. So when you first met him, was it love at first sight?
It really wasn't, because I had just got out of a relationship and I didn't want to make him feel like he was really back.
Okay.
We were more so friends than anything.
Okay. So when did you all decide that you all wanted to take it to the next level?
Probably about 2 years.
2 years in. Okay. So what relationship advice do you have for the people out there?
My advice would be, don't ignore red flags.
Okay.
If once you see it and you notice it, either adjust it or move forward.
Okay. And what were some of your red flags when you were dating?
Inconsistency.
Okay.
Not from, just previous relationships, but inconsistency was kind of one of those things that kind of like stuck out. Like
Okay.
if you're inconsistent in one area, you might be inconsistent in another.
Okay, so you was real firm and strict on and consistent.
Yes.
Okay, so this man must have been very consistent.
It was.
Okay, well thank you, Arlise. Get back to your beautiful client. Thank you. And our next guest, coming to the stage, all the way from Birmingham, Alabama, Miriam Abigail. Give it up for Miriam Abigail. Hey. Oh, you ready to talk? Wait them flags, girl. What you got to talk about? Hey, how you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Good. You look good today. You got your teeth. Thank you. Got your teeth cleaned down and stuff. Yeah, period. Okay. So as you know, we're talking about red flags today. So have you experienced red flags? Are you a red flag? Let us know.
Sweetheart, who haven't experienced red flags? But yeah, I used to be a red flag. I'm not gonna cap. I used to be a red flag. I'm no longer a red flag anymore.
Deliver. What somebody said? She's been restored. Okay, Mary, well, since you're being honest, like our other guest, Sharon, keeping it real, how were you a red flag and how did you learn and get over from being a red flag?
So I was a red flag because I saw red flags in people, but, I denied myself being a red flag. So what I would do when I would see a red flag, I try to change them. But you can't change anybody. You know what I'm saying? In order to be the change that you want to see, you got to become it. So that's why I was a red flag for a long time, because I tried to change people.
And that's so interesting because that's the first time I've ever heard somebody saying, oh, I'm a red flag because I've ignored red flag. Like the public needs to hear that because no one wants to say, oh, I'm a red flag because I ignored a red flag. They want to play the victim like, oh, somebody hurt me or this and that. So how did you get over that?
Just taking accountability. You know what I'm saying? Not denying or just, like you said, playing victim. Just owning up to it. Seeing that, I was the problem and I had to change it.
Okay, so Mary, before we start, asking other questions, the public wants to know, because you look good today, are you dating? Are you single, married, divorced, or widowed?
Very much single.
Are you looking?
No.
Mary just having fun. Okay, so would you like to give us some scenarios or some red flags you have been through and how you have got over them and dealt with them?
There's so many, Lord. One red flag, I was with an individual and he took me home to his mother. And for whatever reason, they got into it. And I'm like, okay, parents, kids, they have disagreements or whatever, but this was a little bit different. He was talking to his mom like a dude in the street, cursing at her, things like that. That's a major red flag. And instead of being like, okay, I know we in the getting to know each other stage, but I need to know, I got everything that I need to know about you, and leave, but I didn't.
So when you saw him disrespecting his mom, he was disrespecting his mom in front of you?
Yeah.
So what made you not leave? Did you think it was just, oh, this one time, they're into it, they're having a disagreement, and I'm just gonna scooted to the side in the back of my mind.
Yeah, that's basically how I thought about it. It was like, like I said, they have, parents and kids, they have disagreements or whatever. So I just shoved it to the side, But what really got me is when, it turned from him being disrespectful to his mother to him disrespecting me. And we weren't officially in a relationship. So that was another red flag.
So you saying you got into a relationship with him after that?
I did. I definitely did.
Okay, so tell us about that, and how long was it after that until you was like, I got to deal. I can't take these red flags no more. You just out of control.
It was sad to say, it was many years. I wasted a lot of time, a lot of energy. I became broken. I started doing things that were not me. I kind of lost my identity. And at that point, that's when I said, I've got to go.
What made you feel like you lost your identity and yourself and you was doing things that you normally don't do?
Just basically doing things that I know as a child growing up, I saw toxic stuff from family members. And so I was like, I would never do that, And for a long time, I stuck to that. But I don't know, it's just like this person just drew me in and just made me like, I don't know, I don't want to say he like put a spell on me or whatever, but and that's another thing, like when you having sex with somebody, you know what I'm saying, soul ties, they're real. So, and I think that's another reason why I stayed so long, because we had sex and all that, and the soul ties. The demons and the toxicity that person was dealing with, I began to deal with it.
That's deep. So how did you heal? So after you left and got out of that situation, did you heal, or are you still healing from it? And let the public and the viewers know like how you're working through it and going through it, because there's some people out there that they might need help dealing with this too.
The way I dealt with it, I had to go to therapy. And I know in our community that's like a taboo, going to therapists and things like that. But that was like the game changer for me, going to therapy. That was my safe space. And in that relationship, I never had a safe space. I always had to walk on eggshells. I couldn't be me. I couldn't voice myself how I wanted to. And if I did, then I was the problem. I was the one that was wrong. That's when you know that you're in a toxic relationship.
Okay, let's give it up for Mary, because she's a strong individual, y'all. Mary is very strong. Okay, so we all know that you have a strong relationship like with God, and you're very deep into the church. So let us know like how your faith and your church family like helped you get through everything that you've been through.
How my church family really helped me to get through the situation was basically having a safe space and to be open and to be vulnerable and talk about it. Because within that toxic relationship, I was made to feel, oh, you can't, what goes on in this house stays in this house. Basically, you want to keep everything hidden. The only thing that you won't put out is what you put out. And when you're putting things out, you're putting out, oh, I'm doing this, I'm the man, da da da, whatever, and she's the bad person. When in actuality, no. To be honest, we both were, because a person can only do to you what you allow. And I allowed so many things with the first red flag. And it's like it was just a buildup of red flags and just brokenness. And once I had got broken to that point, it was like, okay, you come from a family of faith. You know God. You got to go back to that. These red flags, they're not there, you know, for no reason. They're there for a purpose, you know. And then it was like, okay, well, God, what do I do? And God's like, I've already told you what to do. I've already given you everything that you need to get out of this. You just got to possess it. Amen. You got to take ownership.
Okay, so, you know, one more thing. I know you have a son. Do you think it affected your son? And if it did you get him help too? And, you know, are y'all overcoming your red flag situation together? Like, how are y'all getting through it?
You know, kids, they're very smart and they're very resilient. In the beginning, yes, it did affect him, but being strong in my faith and staying in church, it really helped him, and it kept him grounded. And I would talk to him about things, and he would just be like, oh, I don't think about it. I go to my happy place. And I'm like, how innocent is that of a child? Like, as adults, we sit, we ponder, we stress, we worry. But here, an innocent child is like, I just go to my happy place. And I'm like, well, when you go to your happy place, what do? And he was like, what do you mean? I just go to my happy place. I just think of happy thoughts and positivity. And I had to tell my son, like, I know you've seen some traumatic things in our lives. You know, and I had to apologize to my son for putting him in situations like that, because I don't want him to grow up to think this is how I'm supposed to treat women. This is what I'm supposed to do in life. Because it's not, because kids are sponges. They soak everything up.
Thank you, Mary. So I have one more. Well, you know what? I just want to say I'm proud of Mary, because Mary, I know her personally. She's blood family. As Rayma Henderson that came up here, she's my blood family too. But Mary, I'm proud of her. She has been through a lot, and I'm emotional because I have seen her growth. We all know what Mary has been through, and we're proud. Give me a hug, Mary. You got me up here like crying. Everybody give Mary a hand. Because Mary is strong, and Mary has overcome every obstacle that you think you can imagine, and I'm just so proud of her, and we all love Mary. But we got one more question, Mary. You know I'm just crying like a baby. But we got one more question, Mary. Okay, just give the people, you know, your last opinion and your last advice of how to overcome and, you know, how to get out of a situation.
How to overcome and get out of a situation? Well, for one, don't ignore red flags. That's your gut, your intuition. Go with it. You have it for a reason. So when you get that gut feeling, you know, we like to talk to family or friends and get their opinion on it, but they haven't been through it. So you can't really take their advice. You got to go with your gut feeling.
Yes. Well, Mary, we love you, and we're proud of you. Thank you for coming, Mary. We love you.
You too.
Okay. So here at I Like Your Vibe dating TV show, we have a special guest coming all the way from Fairfield, Alabama, Dewana Peterson. Hey, Dewana. How you doing? Look, she look good. You look good today, girl. Okay, and Dewana, she's coming to give you all the love forecast of the week. So to all you all astrology lovers, she's here to present you all with the love forecast. So the air signs, water signs, earth signs, and fire signs, listen up, because she about to let y'all know What's gonna happen in y'all love and y'all sex life for the week? Give it up for Dewana.
I might need your help holding this from time to time, because I gotta get it so everybody can. How everybody feeling? How everybody feeling? Oh, thank you. Oh, we already getting started. Okay.
What sign are we doing first?
Right now it's right now it's just a collective. It's just general, so it's not for a specific sign. With the world card upright. Oh, yeah.
They flying out. They got a lot to speak about.
Somebody life is about to change as far as in the love department. Some people are about to become single. That's what I'm talking about as in the change. But this is going to be a good change. It's a sense of belonging. See, because right now with that other person, you're allowing them to bring in a little too much, so you got too dependent on them, so you got to find that sense of belonging once again. See, you saw it. The Lovers card flip out, so that confirms what I'm saying. And with the Burden card, I get nervous because they let me know that somebody in a relationship is putting on too much. You're doing too much. It's not 50-50. I want to get this one that fell. Oh, yeah. It's time for somebody to walk away.
And the one that flew out, they had a lot to say.
Yeah. And this one, as you see, they're coming back, leading the pack, because this is the recognition card, because you're starting to recognize yourself once again once you break away from that cycle or break away from that person. Put them to the side, then I'm going to get my other ones. See the transition card? You see this person? What it look? You tell them so they'll know. They leaving, right?
Yeah, transit, baby.
It's time for
They moving
to let something go. You got to let it go. And that goes back to what you said. It don't necessarily have to be a love reading. Somebody got something that they definitely got to let go. Whether it's a loss, the way you talk to yourself, what you're doing towards yourself. It's a lot. It's a lot of people got a lot of stuff going on. See that? When that says something you're doing to yourself, it's self-indulgence. Antagonism. That's the word that I hear. Antagonism and imbalance. Because this person, this place, this thing, it causes you to not be balanced. You got to let it go. Let's see. With the Emperor card, that lets me know that you're losing yourself in this situation. See, I like to put them back to see if one going to come out for confirmation. And then I'm going to use the other deck. Somebody got a situation that's really a burden on them because they keep coming out, transition. It's time for healing. It's time to move forward, moving on. Because it's a hardship in your life. It's time to overcome it. Ooh, that's a lot. See, devil card, come back out. Taking back your power. This is one of my favorite cards because this is about choice. You have to know that the choice is always yours. You cannot allow other people to come in and make their choice for you. And sometimes that's what we do because it's easier. Let's see what these say. I should have left them out to see what some of the same ones gonna come out. These my favorite ones. Yeah, somebody going through something, a burdening situation that's causing them to lose a lot of sleep or stay up or think too much on that situation. And that goes back to what you say with people getting therapy. Highly important. Therapy is very, very important. Okay, I'm gonna pull some now. With the Judgment card about to slide out, you got to not be so hard on yourself. You can't beat yourself up for being human. A lot of us do that. This is blindly putting yourself in a situation. This goes for people that help a lot of people, but you don't do the pros and cons. You don't see them trying to help themselves. Captain save a hoe. You can't do that. You can't do that. Because you know they ain't good. You know it ain't right, but you still do it anyway. When you stop doing stuff like that, that's when your fortune change in many different ways because that one person could be stopping so many blessings. The Strength card. A lot of people don't understand. Sometimes we have to do stuff by ourselves. That's when you figure out your strength. When you do it with other people, they can become a crutch. You have to know how to do it for yourself. Some of us have to take the time and look back and like be completely honest at what we got going on. Is it self-induced or is it people that's around us? 9 times out of 10, it's the people that's around you. This is one of my favorite cards right here. Sometimes we know what it is. We just have to see it. Some of us have to feel it. Don't you do that? Once you see it, once you feel it and you figure out how to fix it, that's when that happiness come in. It's on the way, but it's a lot of stuff you have to do. You got to do the work. But as far as love, most people have to go inward. You have to love yourself first before that comes, because if you can't love yourself, you won't be able to love nobody else. And if you don't love yourself and don't spend that time with yourself, then you'll accept any type of treatment. Like you said, you still stayed in a relationship. It's all about accountability. I wish I would have had my other. I got like 5 decks.
Don't worry. She'll be back, everybody.
I'm going to do one more for y'all. Definitely every day.
Let us know how to contact you while you're shuffling that.
Facebook, y'all can find me on Facebook, Dewana Peterson. I got a lot of Facebook.
You got to get rid of the one.
I be forget my password, so I just make another one. There it is. The magician card. That's confirmation for what you said. You already have everything you need inside of you to fix what you need. You just have to go inward. We have to rely on God way more. Way more. We cannot do this alone. We have to depend on God to work that magic in us so we can work it towards everybody else.
Yay. So, Dewana, one more question. How can people, like you said, people need to do the work. What's some advice that you have for people to do the work to better themselves?
First of all, I tell everybody to do a pros and cons list. You have to sit down and be actual and factual of who shows up and shows out in your life. Sometimes we go hard for people that's on the con list. They ain't never did shit for us. Just because of a title. I don't care if it's your sister. What have she done for you lately? I must start singing. If y'all watch my lives, I bust out singing a lot.
You need to sing.
Yeah, don't do that. I love you too. But listen, we have to show up and be accountable. When you make that pros and cons list, you're going to figure out the person that call you the most is in the cons section. I tell everybody, take 1 to 2 business days to process everything. You ask me something, I'm going to come back to you tomorrow because I got to see what's up. I got to see what page you on because you might fall on the con side 5, 6 times. So why I got to look out for you? Pros and cons list. See who fits your life and who don't, and then you'll start to notice, okay, it wasn't me. It was them and what I was doing for them.
What else?
I think a lot of self-help is what really does it. Know who you are. I advise everybody to go into the hermit phase. If people leave you alone while you're trying to fix yourself, they never was for you anyway. They should want you to do that.
Amen. Okay. So in closing, what's their advice for everyone with this reading?
Make sure you are ready for what you're asking for, because the world is a cycle. You get what you ask for, but will you be ready for it? A lot of us looking for love, but are you ready for it? Are you ready to receive what you're looking for? Are you giving out exactly what you're looking for? That's my advice for you. You have to go back to, see, that's confirmation for what a lot of stuff that you said. You have to be the change. What you want. I tell a lot of people that come to me for spiritual therapy, how you mad at this man for not getting your nails done, but when he met you, you didn't have your nails done? How do you expect for somebody to do something for you that you want to do for yourself? So that's what it is. You got to be a mirror image of what you want.
Mirror images.
Of what you want.
Okay, well, thank you, Dewana. And one more time, let the people know how they can contact you.
Facebook, Dewana Peterson, my first and last name.
Okay, thank you, Dewana. We enjoyed you. Yes, and for everyone who enjoyed it, she'll be back next week for our weekly Love Cast reading. Thank you, Dewana. You look beautiful. We had a great show today, and we had some great guests that gave us a lot of good advice on red flags. Do y'all think so? Yes, yes, we had some great topics. But before we end and before we close out, we have to thank our sponsors. Our first sponsor is Brittany Cumby with Just Kicking Shoes. She has some of the best shoes in Birmingham, tennis shoes. She specializes in Jordans. You can contact her on Facebook, Brittany Cumby. Our second sponsor is Regina Moore with Beauty Motions Boutique. Regina Moore. You can contact her on Facebook. And our last sponsor for today is Salon Fitzgerald on First Avenue, Birmingham, Alabama. Brittany Godwin and our lease Biggs. Thank you all. Yes, I'll give it up for our sponsors, because without them, it wouldn't be no us. Thank you all. Thank you for watching I Like Your Vibe Dating Talk Show. I hope you all learned a lot today about red flags, and you all be safe and enjoy your week, and we'll see you next week. Thank y'all. So, today's show, it could get a little emotional, it could get a little messy, and maybe can even be a little triggering.
Whoa, see, that's wrong. That's wrong. See, that's different from a side nigga. You know what a side nigga is? What, you know what a side nigga is? You doing it on her time. No, I'm not a side nigga. You doing it on her. No. But I just told, no, see, you
Like, Mike, he just took over the mic.
As far as being the side piece, at the time, I didn't care because I was getting what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? And in both ways, financially and sexually. And I didn't have to deal with his ass on the regular. Send his ass back home to her.
No, but we were just saying, ain't no scale for cheating. Like, cheating is just all over the place. Like, we have no way of really agreeing on what's cheating, how a person gonna feel about cheating, what make a person cheat in the first place. Like,
I know I want a man. I want somebody who's all mine and that's it. You a good nigga if you said that by Ashley. Me and you ain't finna fuck with each other like that.
Right.
Cause I know what you want. I ain't finna string you along. I ain't finna dick you down. I ain't finna do none of that. We're gonna keep it.
This guy,
We can be
girls
friends.
in their phone like, I like this big vibe to go out and to the club or something. That might just be what we talk about, going out to the club. I like this bitch right here because she know how to cook. When we link up, she gonna bring me something to eat. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I like this bitch right here because she want to fuck just as much as I want to fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Now back in my younger days, don't get me wrong. We ain't have no, borderlines when it came to that. No moral code. Right, basically. But the older you get, you know, that's just not acceptable, and that's not. You got to make standards for yourself.
People want to play with you, you know. And you take years and years of side bitches and side situations. And it turned me into something because I stopped trusting. Because I've been loyal for 16 whole years. Nothing else turned me on or anything like that.
Everyone out there, thanks for joining us again on I Like Your Vibe Dating Talk Show. We'll see you